You'd think the biggest debate in self-driving cars is all about the AI, right? Well, what if I told you it's actually about something way more fundamental? How should a car see? The answer to that question is splitting the entire industry into two, and it's creating this huge philosophical war that's going to define how we all get around in the future. Just let this number sink in for a second. According to the World Health Organization, that's how many people die on the world's roads, every single year. That's the why. That's the whole reason we're pursuing this technology, to get that number to zero. But the how, well, that's where the battle lines are drawn. And it really all comes down to one big choice.
So here's the question at the heart of it all. To be superhumanly safe, should we build a car that sees the world like a human, or should we give it superhuman senses that perceive a reality that is totally invisible to you and me? This question is the great divide. And to really understand this war of ideas, we first need to understand the weapons. So let's open up the self-driving toolbox.
Okay, so before we can really dig into the fight, we gotta know the fighters. Every self-driving car builds its picture of the world from data, and that data comes from three main types of sensors.
First up, the camera. You know this one. It's cheap, it's super high resolution, and it understands the world the way we do. It sees colors, reads traffic signs, and can even pick up on a person's subtle glance before they step into the street. But here's the catch. Its greatest strength is also its greatest weakness. It sees the world just like our eyes do, which means it gets fooled just as easily.
So yeah, on a perfect, sunny day, a camera gives you this beautiful, rich, detailed painting of the world. But what about every other day? What about the things our eyes and cameras just can't handle?
Okay, now let's talk about radar. This thing is the unsung hero, for real. It sends out a radio wave and just listens for the echo to come back. But the real magic is something called the Doppler effect. See, if something's moving towards the car, those returning waves get squished together. If it's moving away, they get stretched out. This lets radar measure velocity directly and with insane accuracy. A camera has to guess by comparing pictures, but radar just knows.
And this is where radar's superpower really shines. A camera goes completely blind in thick fog, right? For radar, the fog might as well not even be there. It's an all-weather, all-conditions truth teller. It's like the car's sixth sense for motion, no matter what the world looks like.
And then there's LiDAR, the king of precision. Just picture a spinning sensor firing millions of laser pulses every single second. Each pulse zips out, hits something, another car, a curb, a tree, and bounces back. By measuring the time of flight, the exact time it takes for that little pulse of light to return, LiDAR builds this incredibly detailed 3D point cloud. It's like a digital sculptor, carving a perfect, millimeter-accurate model of reality in real time.
So think about it like this. If a camera gives you a beautiful painting of the world, LiDAR gives you the perfect architectural blueprint. It doesn't just see a car, it knows its exact shape, its precise location, its orientation in 3D space. It provides pure, unambiguous, geometric truth.
Okay, so we've got our tools. Now, the vision-only camp, they make a pretty bold claim. A powerful enough AI can navigate the world with cameras alone. But can it, really? Let's throw that theory into the gauntlet of the real world and see what happens.
First up, thick fog. For a camera, it's lights out. Game over. The world is just a solid white wall. But for radar and LiDAR, it's just another Tuesday. They see right through it, giving the car the critical data it needs to avoid a massive pileup. And listen, this isn't some rare edge case, you guys. This is a fundamental failure of a vision-only system.
Okay, next challenge. Driving straight into a sunrise. You know the feeling, right? You're completely blinded by the glare. Well, a camera is just as vulnerable. Its sensor gets totally washed out. But radar and LiDAR, they couldn't care less. They operate on a completely different part of the electromagnetic spectrum. So to them, the sun is just not a factor. And that right there is why redundancy isn't a luxury. It is an absolute, non-negotiable necessity for safety.
So these real-world problems, they basically expose the fault lines in this industry. And they force developers down two totally different paths to achieve full autonomy.
You know, if you ask the folks in research, the answer is pretty clear. This paper basically says what they're all thinking. Combining sensors, what they call multimodality fusion, is the gold standard. It's the most robust way to build a 3D picture of the world. But out in the commercial space, there's a pretty big rebellion brewing against that idea.
On one side, you have the belt and suspenders approach from companies like Waymo. They throw everything at the problem. LiDAR, radar, cameras, and fuse all that data together right there on the car in real time. It's incredibly redundant, which is great for safety, but it's also incredibly expensive and really hard to scale.
On the other side is Tesla's audacious bet that a sufficiently advanced AI can do the entire job with just cameras. It's cheap, it's scalable, but man, it puts all the pressure on the software to be absolutely perfect.
So how on earth can a camera-only car possibly work in fog or glare? Well, here's the secret. They move the sensor fusion from the car to the data center. Tesla's fleet acts as this giant data-gathering machine, using all its sensors to build a perfect world model in the cloud. This godlike simulation then teaches the in-car system, saying, hey, when you see these specific pixels, this is what's really there, even if you can't see it clearly. They are essentially trying to download a superhuman intuition into a camera-only brain.
But here's the thing. Neither approach is a silver bullet. Both of these paths are absolutely riddled with their own set of daunting trade-offs and immense engineering challenges.
The fusion approach is kind of a brute force solution. It's expensive and slow to scale. But the world model approach has a deeper, almost philosophical problem. It's a black box. Because it's a single, massive neural network, when it fails, it's incredibly difficult to know why. It requires a leap of faith in the AI's ability to handle brand new situations, and that's a leap of faith that regulators and the public might not be ready to make just yet.
At the end of the day, this isn't just a technical debate. It's a debate about trust. Whether it's a modular system with tons of redundant sensors or a brilliant AI brain, we have to be able to understand why it makes the decisions it does. Without that interpretability, that ability to look under the hood, the dream of a self-driving future is going to remain just that, a dream.
So I'm turning it over to you. Which side are you on? Are you on Team Fusion, believing that the live, on-road redundancy of multiple sensors is the only path to guaranteed safety? Or are you on Team Vision, betting that a powerful enough AI trained by a perfect simulation can overcome the physical limitations of a camera? I want to know your reasoning. Drop it in the comments below. Let's debate this.